Forgot to start my recording. Sorry I couldn't share with you last week. Just didn't have a voice hardly at all without coughing. And I'm really hoping I'll be able to get through tonight without coughing. This bug just doesn't want to go away. I am sad to say. Checking to make sure we're live. Oh, yep, we are. So I want to share some of the celebration items because unfortunately we've only got a few weeks left of celebration. And we have this beautiful paper called Dainty Flowers. So I took it to school with me today, and I took inks and paper that match, and I threw in a couple pieces, a couple different ribbons and some jewels, and I'm going to show you what I created. So I'm going to flip the camera around here so we can get started. I want to show you how quickly you can make some really cool cards. So the first one is I'm going to start with some crumb cake. No, sorry, crushed curry. And I've got some rich raspberry. This paper has a nice variety of colors in it. I thought I took lots of colors of cardstock and lots of sheets to school with me today. Fortunately, found out that I didn't take enough. So I had to finish up some things when I got home today. Let me show you the paper. I guess I should have started with that. Now, all the cards I'm going to show you tonight, I was able to create with half of a package, except the very last card I had to pull out of the second sheet. So here's this paper. This backside, I love that. I really, really like that. This one's really cool because you can cut it in half. And if you were doing scrapbooking, you could make 2-page layout with this by cutting it in half. Some really pretty greenery. This is the first card I'm going to use tonight. And this one. Of course, we got some fresh freesia in there. You can't beat that. This is some rich raspberry with the old olive. Some starry sky. I did not get a card made with a starry sky because I forgot the starry sky paper and ink when I went to school today. Trying to find the one I cut. I apologize already. I know you're going to have to listen to me cough. I'm so sorry. This one is similar to, let me grab it here. This one, the flowers are just a little bit bigger. So I did have to cut into this sheet for the very last card because I've used too much of it in some other projects. All right. So what I really like about this one, and I want to thank Diana Pedersen, she's one that told me about this, but look, all you have to do is stamp a greeting in the middle of these, and you'll have 6 cards, plus this works really well too. So I'm going to show you how I did that. So I cut this down. I put some rich raspberry behind it. And at class the other day, we were talking about how, unfortunately, we need a lot of sympathy cards, or we've seen to lately. Hang on, I forgot to grab my inks out of my bag I took to school. Give me a second here. I came home and was so tired, instead of getting ready, I rested a little bit. All right, there we go. I think I got them now. All right, so I'm going to use the raspberry ink to kind of go with the background here. And I'm going to use the With Deepest Sympathy. It is from the Something Fancy. Really like this set. I love the dies that go with it too. You know, I was going to mix this one up. Let me see. This one I decided I would use the Charming Sentiments. You know, I've used that one a lot. And Wishing You Everything Wonderful. That could be used for so many different occasions. And I'm looking for my mat. Here we go. Again, I apologize for the coughing and the sniffling. I hit week 3 yesterday, unfortunately. All right, so look how easy that is. And with the designer series paper, then we're ready to go. So I'll tell you right now, my offer for you. Hang on, I'm going to see if I can see comments tonight. if I'm lucky enough to see him. Oh yeah, Laura, you love the paper too. I do too. Thank you for saying you're sorry. I'm sick. I am miserable. We missed church the last 2 weeks. So I hated to miss yesterday, but I had a rough time getting through the service without coughing and sneezing. This just doesn't want to go away. I've talked to people at school and they're kind of doing the same thing. This bug just doesn't want to go away. And to be honest, I'd forgotten how bad you feel when you have a cold. So again, I'm melting this on rich raspberry paper and then on crushed curry. And I don't know if you guys saw, but I've offered some kit classes where I'm not stamping so that I can sell the kits, because with Stampin' Up, we're not allowed to sell any stamped kits. So I'm kind of continuing that tonight with these. Most of these don't have stamping except for greetings. And if you bought the kits, I'm sure you have greetings at home that you could use. And of course, if you ever buy something and you don't have what you need, all you need to do is let me know. We'll work something out. So I just took a strip of that, put it on the white with the rich raspberry, and we're going to put it inside here. And I wanted to just show how quick and easy these were. So if you're needing some cards quickly, this designer series paper is perfect for it. All right. So there we go. There's the first one. And here's the first one I did. I put the With Deepest Sympathy in there, and then I just added some of the gems. And I would probably do that again. And now that I'm home, I'd probably color it with either of these two colors and add some color to the gems. So here's the second one. This one, I used that paper that I told you would work great for scrapbooking. So I cut it in half. And then because it was 6 inches and I didn't need that extra inch, I cut off this strip, and I'm going to use it for several of the greetings on the other cards. So trying to use all the paper in the kit. So this paper you can get free with a $50 order. So if you order before next Monday night and you get the Dainty Flowers designer series paper, I will send you instruction sheets and card kits so you'll know how to cut your designer series paper and make all the cards I'm going to show you tonight. So like on this card, I would send you the old olive and the rich raspberry, and then you would just need to cut your DSP, and I would tell you what size to cut it. And you would have 10 cards you can make. You could actually make almost 20, because I only used half of the papers in doing these. Finding it's really good for me to force myself to stamp when I'm at school, because I can't just grab all kinds of different things, and trying to see how I can make things without using a ton of products, which of course kind of goes against being a salesperson, because as salespeople, we're supposed to convince you that you need all kinds of stuff, right? And as my husband always says, that I am not a good salesperson. All right, I'm looking for the greeting that I used earlier today. Thought I got it out here. Well, we'll use this one. All right, so we'll use the With Deepest Sympathy. I like this 1-inch paper that I cut off because it's got kind of a gray texture to it. I don't know if you can see that. It's not real white. It's really pretty, I think. All right, and since I have some extra there, I'm going to cut a little strip off. And I don't know if you've noticed, but we also have several new items that they added to Celebration. One of them is a bundle that you can get with a $100 order, which is a really good deal. So I'm going to add, this is called Winging It, in case you're wondering. I always tell people as a substitute teacher, you have to get really good at winging it, because best laid plans usually get messed up at school. I'm sure some of you probably have that in your jobs as well. All right, so there's With Deepest Sympathy. And then I'm going to glue it on some old olive. Like that. And then place it on here. And of course, if you want a lot of texture, you can use dimensionals to add some more variation here. Oops. I have had some people asking me about our die cut machines and layers and that kind of stuff. And I wanted to let you know, we don't have school on Wednesday because of the Chiefs parade. So I'm going to try, as a good friend of ours used to always say, Lord willing and nobody cares. I hope to, at 10 o'clock on Wednesday morning, do a short little video on our die cut machines and some tips and tricks on how to use them. Last Monday, I was able to watch a video with some tips and tricks with our new mini machine that you can get right now. There, doesn't that look cool? Adding that just because I had that extra space there. And here is the first one that I designed. I did the You Are Wonderful. And then on the inside, there's my white paper. And I am worried about time. So I'm going to tell you that that will be glued right in there like that and look like that. So that's number 2. Number 3 is going to use my fresh freesia. You know, I love that color. And I'm using the crushed curry with it. I'm going to use, I really like this little greeting. It says, "You make my life happier." And I really like that saying. Because you know, you have those people in your life that just make you happier. All right. So I just did your basic layering of the crushed curry is 4 by 5 1/4. The DSP is 3 3/4 by 5. And if you take advantage of my offer and get these card kits, you will have instruction sheets with all the dimensions and everything so that you can create everything very quickly. I thought this one would be fun with just a little bit of ribbon. So I grabbed the fresh freesia ribbon and I'm going to add that down here. Grab my glue dots. Oh, Trish, thank you. Glad you like these. I've got a lot of designer series paper that I've purchased that I know I'm not going to be able to use up before the end of this catalog. So be watching. I plan on offering some different card kit options, different prices, and offered some a couple weeks ago and had a few people take me up on it and talked to at least one of them, and they've been really happy with them. So this would be kind of along the same lines, trying to use a designer series paper so that I can use up that paper. I'm trying to be much better about using stuff and not hoarding it. I know that's a horrible word for us to hear, isn't it? That we're using things instead of just hanging on to it. All right, so I'm going to use some dimensionals. Because I'm putting it over the ribbon, I want to give it a little height so that it doesn't wobble when it's over the ribbon. So bring it up like that. There we go, like that. And I'll show you how I did the inside. So this is like that. And again, just the designer series paper. So all you would need to add would be your greetings. All right, the next one. I flipped this paper over this time. So we used, that's the strip that was cut at 6, and then we cut the extra inch off. We're going to use this side this time. I love it how it gives it this kind of this aged, weathered look. I think that's really pretty. So I wanted to just layer it up with some white. I have to admit it was kind of hard to cover up. Some of these I love both sides, so it made it hard to glue them down. All right. This one, I'm going to do that sympathy again. You know how it is. I'm hoping that now if I have a bunch of sympathy cards made, I won't need them. You know how that goes, right? All right. Oh, I did not want to do it in rich raspberry. I thought with this one, I would just go with the old olive, the mossy meadow, and the white. So I'll grab my old olive and try again on the other side. Now I lost my paper. Oh, I can't because, all right, well, on this one, I'll show you what I plan to do. I took some white twine, and I kind of assume everybody's got some twine laying around. I know we talked at class last week, people were talking about how they had huge stashes of twine that they thought they would use up, and they've used it, and it still doesn't look like they've hardly used it, which is a good thing if you don't want to run out of supplies. All right, kind of gotten into this thing where I like doing double, running the ribbon around twice. So I did that again here. All right. And then I tied a little bow because, with my silly old hands, I'm not able to wrap ribbon very well and tie a bow. So I always wrap it and then just attach my bow. So we'll lay that on there like that. I've had a couple of my customers sign up to be a part of my team. And if you're interested in that, you've only got a couple more weeks. So make sure you check out the amazing deal. It's a really, really good deal this time. All right, so since I messed up that greeting, let me show you here. So I did it like that with deepest sympathy. And this one here, I just stamped some leaves. The only stamp set that I took to school with me today, because I don't have the Dainty Flowers that go with this, but I did have decorative borders. So I used the leaves on that one. All right, for the next one, back to that rich raspberry. And as you can see, this is just doing layers. So the papers look great. You have a wide variety in the looks of the papers. So even if you did the exact same layout, sizes of papers and everything, because the papers and colors look different, I'm not sure people would realize unless, you did 100 of them, then they'd probably figure that out. All right, we're gonna see, I could stamp it right this time. All right, we're getting excited. We're moving our daughter and son-in-law the next couple weeks. They are moving into a bigger place, which is a good thing with that baby on the way. And Jason's almost 2. I can't believe it. Amazing how fast time goes. All right, and then I'm going to put this right there, and I'll use some dimensionals. As I was doing this, I was thinking, you could pull any kind of designer series paper and do this same idea, which would be really cool because then you could use it for masculine cards if you had masculine paper, or flowers, just shapes, animals, anything. And so it'd be a real versatile instruction sheets that you can use, because you could use any of our papers. Well, any papers, actually. All right, I'm gonna lay this. Actually did this one a little bit different than, till I'm hurrying. Not often I try to make 10 cards during my video. All right, so there's that. And then here's my inside piece. And here's what the first one looked like. All right, the next one. This one's using the back side of that paper that I just loved. So see this splatter paper? I just think this is so cool. So again, I'm going to layer it on here, but this time I'm going to stamp directly on here before I do anything else. And I think I'm going to stamp with the French freesia this time. The other sample that I did, I stamped it in the green. I think I'm going to do it with this. So if you like these layouts and you like this paper, I bet you can find $50 worth of stuff in the catalog you'd like to have. And then you'd also get a set of instructions and the cardstock, so you could cut your paper and make these cards at home and actually make 2 sets of all of them. So see, I just stamped it directly on there. And then let me show you how my layers turned out. So I did like that. And once again, just a strip at the top. And I know that's kind of the same idea for inside the cards, but I was trying to avoid stamping so that you could see you could just use your paper. All right, so for this one, I took the middle section from this piece and I cut it to be 5.5. I used some crushed curry with it. Oh yeah, it would make nice masculine card, you're right. And then I used the crushed curry there and then a strip here to kind of continue the strips of flowers on this card. So you can see it turned out like this. And then I just added some gems or jewels. All right, we're still going. I think I have 3 more. So this one here is pretty much the same idea. I added the ribbon, You're on My Mind and in My Heart. It's the fresh freesia with the dots. Thought that just looked springy. I did stamp this one from this decorative labels. I stamped that and then put the strip at the top. And 2 more. Yep, 2 more. Here's the next one. This one here, I thought this paper was really pretty. And it, with these leaves and stuff on here, it doesn't really look white. So I wanted to avoid white here. So I just did 2 tones of the green. I did the old olive and the mossy meadow, and then some twine, and then stamp those leaves again. I might have tried the well, I don't think Very Vanilla would have worked either. So that just makes it a real interesting color. Here's the last one. Again, pretty much the same size for my designer series paper. Added a greeting. And I wanted, let's see if I can see that? I wanted something a little bit different on my strip. So I scored it. The strip is 1 inch. So I scored it at 1/2. And then I just went up 1/8 of an inch on each side and scored it again to give it just a little bit of texture. You see those lines there? And then the strip on the inside as well. So there you go. There's my 10 cards made with cardstock designer series paper, a little bit of ribbon. See if I can lay some of these out here. Order anything you want, your $50 order, and then order this designer series paper, and I will send you the card kits. You will need to cut your designer series paper, but I'll give you all the details for it. And if you need to borrow some inks or some sayings, you're welcome to stop by and we can do that. If I can get all these out here. This was really fun. Thank you to Diana. She was the one that said, oh my gosh, you can make so many beautiful cards so quickly with this. And then there's my last one. So there they are, all 10 of them. I hope you're having a wonderful week. I again apologize for my voice and my coughing. Maybe by next week, I'll be done coughing. We can hope. If you have any questions, let me know. I will try to be on Wednesday at 10 o'clock with some tips and tricks for our mini cut die cut machine, as well as our normal size die cut machine, and share some little tips to help that machine work even better for you. Have a great Monday, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.